The real scandal this week behind the cervical smear screening is not that Dr. Scally has brought out an interim report without even mentioning the outsourcing, without even giving us the figures for where the 209 misdiagnosed cancer victims' labs came from, and we suspect that they all came from America. There's no reason why CPL would award Vicky Phelan 2.5 million in compensation if they weren't responsible for misdiagnosing her cancer. So there is bigger reasons behind this, but I think the real scandal is the fact that Dr. Scally himself has been trying to hold his patience with the HSE and the officials in the Department of Health, who have thwarted and tried to hold up his investigation. Only 3 days ago was he given some of the information he requested about the whole smear test scheme, how it works, where the tests came from, who is responsible for them, and the way he was given the files is completely outrageous. He was given scanned in documents that he then couldn't do digital searches on. Instead of passing on PDFs or emails or documents that him and his team could actually digitally search and come up with decent information, he was given scanned in documents that are pretty useless to him, because you're talking about 4,000 documents. So his patience is being thwarted, the patience of the population is being thwarted, our patience in the Dáil is being thwarted. But just imagine how you would feel if you were diagnosed with a fatal cancer because of what is going on behind the cervical smear scheme in this country. Just imagine how you would feel if you had to leave behind your family and children within the next few months, and this information was being withheld by overpaid officials in the HSE and the Department of Health. And there's no sense of anger or impatience coming from either Leo Varadkar or Simon Harris, who should be making heads roll. If the Scally report is being held back because of officials in either department conducting a cover-up, well then their bosses, i.e. Simon Harris and Leo Varadkar, should be furious and should be calling them out, and that is not happening. Instead, the only reaction we get is Leo Varadkar giving out to deputies in the Dáil for asking questions in the first place. I want to endorse the women out there who are organising protests towards the end of this month. I'm not sure yet of the details, but they are organising protests, standing up for women, will be mobilising, and I think now that we have won the referendum and we've done it by people power, we should remember that lesson and use people power to get through this scandal and to end the outsourcing of our health, to bring the service back into Ireland, and to make sure that every single woman knows the history of her health and is fully compensated and looked after in this state, and that it never happens again.